at the score thinking Denver wouldn't be expecting that play.
Well, that was a gamble call, hoping that Denver would be looking for something short on 4th and 1. And Marty Schottenheimer goes for the big score, but Denver had a double cover.
You know who didn't get faked out at all? Steve Atwater. You see Gordon there, but watch number 27.
That's right. Paul, Denver played it safe. They had everybody back. They do the right thing. Steve Atwater back because they know only a touchdown beats them. They really weren't worried about giving up the first down. The clock was on their side. Smart call by the defensive coaches for the Denver Broncos.
And for Marty Schottenheimer, the #1 seed in the AFC, memories from 2 years ago. It was Indianapolis who came in here when the Chiefs were 13-3 and had earned the top spot. And 10-7, the Colts came out with a victory with Jim Harbaugh, the captain comeback performance. Pat Bowlen, the owner of the Broncos, with a pat on the back to Mike Shanahan. Shanahan, a wild card Denver team, winning last week against Jacksonville, and then 14-10 here in Kansas City today. And the Broncos will travel to Pittsburgh, where they had an earlier experience this season. Jim Gray.
All right, John Elway, congratulations. Tell us about your defense today, John. It was just stupendous and superb.
Huge. I mean, these type of football games, you got to have a great defense, and they were keys today. We made some big plays on offense, but the defense just came through and made all the plays for us. So great win. This is a tough place to play against a great team, and we're just glad to get out of here with a win.
You have beaten Marty once again, and I know you two don't like to focus on it, but it comes up all the time, and it's going to be said from here until the next game. What about this rivalry and beating Marty once again?
Well, I mean, I don't play Marty Schottenheimer. He's a great football coach, and I play against great football teams. He always has his teams ready to play, and we're just fortunate that we came out on the right end today.
John, it seems as though you guys were able to dominate the entire game, but once again had trouble scoring points. Why have you guys had such dominance, but the scoreboard is still 14-10? You look like you're winning the entire game except for the scoreboard.
Well, I mean, you got to give some credit to this crowd and this defense. I mean, this is one of the top-ranked defenses, one of the toughest defenses we've played all year. And so, I mean, for us to come in here and just control the ball, we want to make some first downs, control the clock a little bit, and then try to make some big plays. We were able to do that, and when we did get it down in the red zone, we did get it in the end zone, which was a key thing.
With no disrespect to Pittsburgh or to their fans, it seems as though the entire country and football fans have a sentimental favorite in you to get to the Super Bowl. Are you aware of that?
Well, you know, that's nice, but I'm sure the Steelers are going to have something to say about that, so hopefully we can go back there. And you know, we were back there a couple weeks or 3-4 weeks ago, and they're a great football team. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is what football is all about.
Congratulations, Sean. Always fun to watch you play.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, let's send it back upstairs now to Dick Enberg.
All right, Jim, the emotions of an entire season all come boiling out as the Kansas City Chiefs at home have been defeated by the Broncos 14-10. And it's Denver earning a trip to Pittsburgh. They led 21-7 against the Steelers in the first half of their game a few weeks ago, only to find Pittsburgh rolling them out 35-24. One of the nice men in the game and one of the top coaches, Marty Schottenheimer, will have to swallow and go back and try to digest another very difficult defeat. Neil Smith, whose heart is in Kansas City, hated to leave this town, a star here, but they couldn't pay the tab. He went on to Denver and was a key defender today. A couple of sacks that inspired a defense that held Kansas City to 10. We'll return to Arrowhead. Don't wander off.
At Staples, we're constantly lowering prices to make them as competitive as possible. So you always get the guaranteed low prices on over 7,000 items. And who wouldn't love that?
And that's the last one.
Good news, Willis. We're lowering prices again. Lock up when you're done.
All right!
That kid was a find.
Over 7,000 supplies at guaranteed low prices. Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
Introducing the new Miller Lite Super Bowl cheer chair.
No, Bubba, not now. Come on, Bubba. Get out of the way. Go on, Bubba. Gee whiz.
It's really comfortable.
Bubba, the game.
And it's the best way to watch the game.
Yes! Way to go!
Pick up an order form wherever you buy Miller Lite.
We come here on a glorious quest, a search for that which can be found nowhere else. Where? In the trenches where mighty men clash? Amidst the echoes of glory's past? High atop Olympus? Oh, this is our quest. This is what football is all about. Now all I gotta do is find that nacho guy.
Denver Broncos, a wild card team, 14-10 winners here against Kansas City. A key play in the game late, Elway to McCaffrey, 43 yards to set up the winning touchdown. And here are the brackets on our way to San Diego and Super Bowl 32. It'll be Denver at Pittsburgh early next Sunday. The late game on Sunday for the NFC Championship. Green Bay at San Francisco. The Final Four is set. So Denver, Pittsburgh. The Broncos and Steelers met on December 7th at Three Rivers, and Denver jumped out 21-7, scoring on 3 of their first 4. That's Yancey Thigpen. He had a huge game, as did Cordell Stewart, as he threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for 2 others, and his best game as a Steeler. Pittsburgh won 35-24. Was the most yardage that the Broncos allowed and points in the entire season. Pittsburgh winning 35-24. Bill Cowher watched with mixed emotions today. His very close friend Marty Schottenheimer has lost again in his bid to get to the Super Bowl. But on the other hand, his team rejoices. They're at home for the AFC Championship. Terrell Davis, 2 touchdown runs to lead Denver to a 14-10 win. We're going to return to Kansas City and Arrowhead Stadium, the winning Denver Broncos. But we're going to take a station break. Your favorite stations to offer you these important words. We'll be back in a moment.
Dateline Sunday. Imagine an almost indestructible criminal in full body armor. The life-saving technology that's become every cop's worst nightmare. Dateline tonight, 8/7 Central.
I know. You're the rugged type, and you got a lot of gear. You want to go places, see new things. And most of all, you don't want to spend a lot of money. Well, now during the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event, the new Chevy S10 pickup is on sale. Get 2.9 APR financing or a great smart lease offer on the rugged Chevy S10 pickup. S10's got bold new looks and a redesigned interior. Check out great offers on other 98 Chevy cars and trucks.
2.9% financing ends soon, so see your local Chevy dealer today.
Every TV station wins awards, but only one Kansas station has received the highest honor in television, an Emmy, for its news coverage. KSN has now won 10. This year, KSN continued to bring you the highest quality news programming, and once again, we were honored with an Emmy. It's your input that brings out the best in us. That's why we're listening and building KSN around you. Your Emmy Award-winning news station is KSN.
When a man sabotages the air traffic system, can anyone stop the final descent?
You were warned!
Eric Stoltz. Blackout Effect, NBC Sunday.
Hello, Kansas. You're watching KSN.
The eyes of Alfred Williams and Neil Smith, the defensive ends for the Denver Broncos, as they prevail 14-10, and the defense, as you heard John Elway, was key to this big win today. Neil Smith, the former chief, is with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. Neil, obviously this has got to be a very, very sweet victory for you, having left the Chiefs. Describe your thoughts if you can right now.
Well, you know, my thoughts is, played it for so long, and I gave everything I ever had here when I did play here, and coming back is very emotional when I came here the first time. And, by inches, we lost that ball game, but today we had a chance to come back and redeem ourselves. I think about the effort of our football. Our football team, it's a great victory. It's a sweet to be.
Tell us about a couple of plays that you were very critical in today. First, the sack, and then the forced fumble.
Well, I had to I put it on myself. I said big players make big plays in big games, and you got to put the pressure on yourself. If you want to win and succeed, you got to put the pressure on yourself. And this is a sweet victory, but yet this is not our goal. We have to go into another hostile environment next week and play a team that beat us on very soundly, and we got to put it together and try to play them again next week.
Neil, how has this team rebounded? It looked as though there was going to be a downslide after this loss in Kansas City. Then you lost to Pittsburgh and San Francisco, and everybody kind of thought, well, hey, the Broncos are done. Well, what's enabled this team to rebound?
Well, the critics put us back and said we're not a good road team. All along, it's tough to play on the road. We had a little slump. We got through the regular season, and in the first half of the regular season with a bridge, we was undefeated, and we felt like we was unbeatable. Then, teams started playing us well. And, we went to Frisco, and they beat us very soundly. And same thing in Pittsburgh. And we had a little downslide, but it doesn't start there. The regular season is over, and it's how you play in the postseason play to get you there.
Better put your helmet back on as you run through. They're booing you here. Congratulations.
I love them all, though.
Congratulations, Neil Smith. Let's send it back upstairs to Dick Enberg.
Well, Neil Smith, who took out a full-page ad in the Kansas City newspaper thanking the fans for how well he was treated while a player here. Interesting to note that Denver in the postseason had won only 1 game in 10 prior to today. That was that drive 11 years ago. So this is only their 2nd postseason win on the road.
Well, a couple of things really struck me today. I said it. The Denver, I think they're the one team that can travel in these playoffs and win. One, because they run the ball so well. Their defense had struggled in Pittsburgh, but I think they'll make some huge adjustments.
I think the other thing, too, is I go back to the Jacksonville game, Dick, is when they were 21-17, and it looked like Jacksonville. Here they come again, and this team regrouped defensively and went back at it. This is what they did in this football game here, played defensively. That's why I think the next week's game between Pittsburgh is a defensive struggle.
So it will indeed be the Broncos and Steelers at Three Rivers next week. Elway and the Broncos have beaten Schottenheimer and the Chiefs 14-10. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Starting with Suddenly Susan.
Well, Jack, I've been wanting to do that for a long time, but I wasn't missing a thing. Woo!
And Jenny shaking up Monday with beauty and grace. Okay, she needs a little work.
You think?
And everyone's got Caroline's number.
So, Richard, any messages?
Yeah. The breather called. He said...
Now, this is one show with youth appeal.
Hey, oh, hey,
17.
Never mind.
And Sharon Lawrence gets all fired up.
I really didn't know what to wear, so I'm dressing for generic men. Cleavage and a short skirt.
4 great comedies that are smart, funny, and a real scream. See them all on Must See TV Comedy Monday.
Don Grant and Lauren Perkins. Weekdays at 5, 6, and 10.
Let's go out and play like the Denver Broncos.
3 days out,
We're
baby.
the best team here. Let's go out and play like Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Broncos. Touchdown, Denver Broncos to Terrell Davis. And the Broncos poured on.
60 minutes of football, our style, our way, in our house, man. Let's go.
That goes all the way. Touchdown. Game over. Terrell finished. This crowd is going for certain.
As laces tie leather, individual stars become the whole when joined as one in a single vision. A solitary mission, written in the lines that carve an old soldier's face, in the eager fire that lights a young man's eyes.
Cordell Stewart has it, running for the end zone. It's a foot race, and Cordell Stewart will take it in for the score.
Cordell Stewart, cornerback nouveau, impatient in his drive to win it all. He's brought his team to this moment in but his first year as a starting quarterback. Now he chases his future, while another is pursued by his past.
Elway will go home empty for a 3rd straight time in a Super Bowl, 3rd straight time in a Super Bowl, 3rd straight time in a Super Bowl, 3rd straight time in a Super Bowl.
Too often, history can be contrary and cruel in how she handles the legacy. John Elway knows that. This, then, perhaps his last, best chance to write the final verse. Individual parts drawn together, making up the whole. Today, they decide the AFC Championship. at Three Rivers Stadium on a beautiful January day, the AFC Championship. The wild cards from the West, the Denver Broncos and the Central Division champion Pittsburgh Steelers. We welcome you to Three Rivers Stadium. Big games, big names, big players, and what a wonderful contrasted quarterback.
Well, you have Cordell Stewart, the young quarterback, against John Elway, the older veteran. Cordell Stewart, when everybody talks about him, they talk about his running ability. forget about that. Even if he was a slow quarterback, he can throw the football so well, such arm strength, that he could still be a good starting quarterback in the NFL. John Elway, the most dynamic, physically gifted quarterback, I think, to ever play the position in the NFL. He's 37 years old. Today, to be successful, he's going to need some protection and some help from his teammates.
No one's ever won more games at quarterback in league history than John Elway. The quarterbacks are the marquee names, but this game has featured runners as well.
Terrell Davis and Jerome Bettis. I'm going to tell you something right now. All eyes will be on these two guys. They both averaged over 4 yards a carry during the regular season. They are both punishing runners. But the other thing is that when these guys play this ball game, whoever gets 100 yards in this ball game, that will probably be the team that goes to the Super Bowl.
Well, just minutes before kickoff, and for the veteran leader, John Elway, time to talk the talk.
The only thing is we can only play it one play at a time. Let's go out, walk the walk, play Bronco football, we'll come out champs. Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3. Broncos!
10, 9, 8. Hold the countdown.
Oh, no.
Refill, refill, refill.
Diet Dr. Pepper, it's the taste you've been looking for.
Hey, guys.
Need a smile? Call Domino's.
Yes.
A Domino's pizza does the trick. Thin crust, hand-tossed, or deep dish. Made with all your favorite toppings. But we deliver more than great pizza. At Domino's, we're delivering 1 million smiles a day.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. I'm Jim Gray. Well, last week, Terrell Davis wore a flak jacket to protect his bruised ribs. He had a cartilage problem with him. He said after the game he had 2 fumbles, and the flak jacket helped cause him because he couldn't get a good feel of the ball. All week long, he said he wasn't going to wear a flak jacket. Well, I spoke to Terrell Davis. He is going to wear a much smaller flak jacket today. I asked him why. He said he feels that he has to. It's just a precaution. He says it is a bit annoying, and he hopes it won't bother him as much as last week. With the Steelers all day today is John Dockery. Doc?
Thank you, Jim. And the Steelers are deadly serious. Bill Cowher saying we will be physical, very physical. We will hit the wide receivers, the return men, and the running backs. And we'd like to remind Terrell Davis that he does indeed have bruised ribs. They are not aware, Jim, that he will be wearing a flak jacket. Cowher said one other thing. We'd like to keep it close in the fourth corner, and we'll find a way to win. And they've done that, Dick Enberg, 5 times this year. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Doc, 3 of those in overtime. The Broncos will get the ball first, winning the toss. Defend the goal to our left. Vaughn Hebron is deep as veteran Norm Johnson tees it up. And what a moment this is, just before 60 minutes that will decide the Super Bowl. This crowd with its terrible towels, ready to cheer Bill Cowher, hoping for another Super Bowl chance. Repeating the glory years of the 70s in this city when Pittsburgh won 4 Super Bowl titles. We're underway. Hebron at the 8. 30 and out to the 32, 33-yard line. And that's where John Elway will start on offense. Elway 3-1 in AFC championship games, but a loser all 3 times in the Super Bowl. Here's his offensive line that features a Pro Bowl center in Tom Nalen, the only man under 30 in that light offensive line. In the backfield with him, Terrell Davis, number 2 in the league. Barry Sanders in rushing, Griffith the blocker, Smith, McCaffrey the wide receivers, Shannon Sharp the leading receiver on the season with 72. Elway batted down at the line of scrimmage. May have been Nolan Harrison, the former Oakland Raider.
Nolan Harrison, number 74. Watch, he just times it perfectly. He sees Elway. He knows he can't get to him, Dick, so what you do is put your hand up.
Great free agent pickup by the Steelers, grabbing Nolan Harrison, who's developed as a real defensive charge for these Steelers. Many of the fans Trojans yet to take their seat on their feet. 2nd and 10. Elway guns the ball. Intercepted by LeVon Kirkland. Turnover on the 2nd play of the game. Kirkland, who had 2 interceptions in the regular season.